I'm Joe Wallace for Turntabling.net. It's another entry in the Vinyl Road Rage series, our series of videos blogging across the U.S. looking for America's coolest, weirdest, and most unusual vinyl and indie record stores along the way. I've been field testing the Crosley USB portable turntable, and we had some mixed results the first time out. The unit has two ways you can hear the music without being plugged into a computer via USB. You can transmit by FM frequency to a boombox. In this case, we have 88.1 as the frequency. Or you can use the Crosley's built-in speakers, which are a little tinny sounding, but no worries, it's good in a pinch. I'm using both for the purpose of this video, and that seems to work out the best. In the first clip that we did with the Crosley in action, I was playing an album full of Thai psychedelia, and the one thing that I didn't do was raise the antenna on the boombox. So it naturally sounded a little staticky. Now the antenna is up. The static factor seems to have been reduced exponentially, so that's a good thing. We're going to try another test of the USB turntable here with a record I picked up a few days ago. This is a spoken word record by Allen Ginsberg called Ginsberg's Thing, and it features some Buddhist chanting, a selection of poetry, and something called First Party at Ken Kesey's with Hell's Angels. Is that poetry? Is that a narrative? I don't know, not heard the record before, but this is definitely an interesting slice of Americana, especially if you're interested in the beat era from the 50s and 60s and beyond. Ginsberg, Kerouac, Burroughs, etc. Ginsberg's the only one who shows up on this. This is his show, but it's definitely interesting. Again, it's called Ginsberg's Things, and I'm really shocked that I found this for under 50 bucks. This was actually $15, and I've seen records like this going for as high as 60 or 70 in some of the more upscale record shops. But I was lucky enough to find a shop, Shangri-La Records actually, in lovely, lovely Memphis, who didn't see the need to gouge me for this particular title above the... I'm not saying they're gouging you at 15 bucks, but you hear what I'm saying. Shangri-La Records, by the way, is a very, very worthwhile stop in Memphis. If you're near Memphis, if you're traveling through Memphis, I strongly recommend to stop at Shangri-La. What a great record store that was. And now let's have a listen to Ginsberg's Thing by Allen Ginsberg, spoken word record on the Crosley USB portable turntable. Let's check it out.
Leggerò alcune poesie per cominciare, tratte dal taccuino del vecchio. Sono poesie nate dalla considerazione della propria età e nello stesso tempo dalla considerazione metafisica degli eventi del mondo, di un mondo che è troppo giovane per un vecchio come me. Qua, verso meta si fugge, chi la conoscerà? Non d'Itaca si sogna, smarriti in vario mare, ma va la mira al Sinai.
All right, we're dragging a little on here because Ginsberg has yet to start speaking, so we're going to skip ahead a moment. The Italian you're hearing is by the original poet that Ginsberg is translating. Let's see, it's Giuseppe Ungaretti. And now we'll hear Ginsberg doing a bit of the translation for this record.
Ogni anno, sensitive, clouded with hesitation, yellow, minutely flowering mimosa erupts, framed at the window of that house I lived in once, and of this one where I pass old age. While I draw near the great silence, will this be a sign that nothing dies, since it always returns in appearance? Or shall I find at the end that death reigns over nothing but appearance?
Pretty cerebral for the purposes of Vinyl Road Rage, I know, but it is Ginsberg, it's the beats, and it's a topic of interest, at least around this hotel room. So as you can hear, well, or maybe you can't, the audio fidelity with the antenna extended on the boombox definitely helps the listening experience. This is still kind of a scratchy, trebly sounding recording, so we haven't really heard the full audio range of this unit yet, because these recordings themselves were a bit low-tech. In our next video, we'll get to some more modern recordings and see just how well the Crosley will reproduce those sounds, and not just the almost AM radio, classic radio show type of production quality that we're hearing on this record and the one that I played in the last video. Again, the name of that record's it's called Ginsberg's Thing. It's Allen Ginsberg. He was reading a translation there, but on the first side, Side 1, he does some Buddhist chanting, and there are some poems. In fact, let's take a listen to a little bit of Side 1 and get an idea of what the rest of this sounds like.
House 1 hour, specters with scarred faces or little chin beards, specter girls, black stockings, delicate heels, specter boys, blonde hair, combed neat over the skull. These new specters, legs crossed with scarves and Italian shoes, talking intensely, crowded together, late afternoon, smiling over low tables, with the sad soprano of history chanting through the
etc. Again, maybe a bit cerebral for Vinyl Road Rage. We like the laughs on this trip. There's nothing wrong with a little philosophical discussion or some high-minded poetry readings, but we're going to get on to some real weirdness next. The album that I talked about a few videos ago by a gentleman or a band calling itself, himself, or themselves Nigel Peppercock definitely deserves a bit of time on the old turntable, don't you think? If you've seen that video, aren't you dying to hear what Nigel Peppercock sounds like? Yes, let's discover the horror together. I'm Joe Wallace for Turntabling.net. Thanks for watching.